Hi guys. So we're going to talk about Colleen Ballinger today because I feel like talking about Colleen Ballinger. It's really not that serious, but I know that it will be serious in the eyes of her fans who are just on a new level since she has come back. I've noticed a shift in my comments, and they are just braver than ever with some of the things that they say. And as a reminder, if you come in my comment section and say things that are out of line to most people, you'll be blocked from my channel. I don't need to leave your comments up to be fair or anything along those lines, because if you are being hateful, you have no place on my channel and your comment is not worth anything. So I wanted to put that in the beginning of the video. I want to talk about her recent videos, 2 of them. In the first video that I want to talk about, she really capitalizes, she's capitalizing on using clickbait, and I'm not saying it in a way of like, oh, she's using clickbait, that's the worst thing ever. Because she's not like clickbaiting someone got hurt or, anything like that, but it's definitely trying to get more views on her video. I want to make it really clear too, like, clickbait is not the end of the world to me, as long as it's not clickbaiting like a natural disaster or a health issue or someone dying. Like, I've titled my videos things previously to get engagement on them. That's just part of making content, and as long as your clickbait isn't hurtful, I don't have a problem with it. But I am saying that just to reiterate the conversation and the point that she is doing what she has to do to make sure that she's getting views. Because after all, this is her nest egg. This is her meal ticket. And if she doesn't do this, what is she gonna do, So first of all, she goes into this rock hunting conversation and shares with one of her fans in Ohio that they can find rock hunting maps. So, okay, I mean, cool, whatever. Like, if rocks are your new thing, then have at it.
Say all your names wrong, whatever. Those rocks turn out gorgeous. Thank you. I'm jealous that you live somewhere that you can get awesome rocks every day. I live in the middle of Ohio with no cool places to collect rocks around here. No beaches nearby. I wouldn't know where to begin to look for awesome rocks. Well, let me just tell you that I just did a quick little googly, and I found something. If you just search like rock hounding or rock hunting near me and then like put where you live, you can find locations. So when I Googled just in Ohio, I found all these little locations that popped up for places that were good in Ohio. I also read that the thing you can find a lot of there in Ohio is flint. Like, you have your own like Ohio flint that looks like pretty cute. Kind of looks like marble-y to me. It's kind of pretty. So that's like what you have a lot of there apparently. And then I also read other minerals found in less abundance. There's calcite and amethyst and quartz, fluorite, and so there's lots of fun things. You just have to know where to go and what to look for. So I think that was a frustrating part of getting into rocks for me in the beginning, was that I didn't know how to, like, I would watch videos of people rock hunting and be like, how did they see that? How did they know what that was? Like, and I get so frustrated.
But the more interesting part is she goes into this whole conversation about being brave. And the phrase "be brave" really helped her get through really dark times that she was having over the summer when she was exposed for being creepy and weird with, underage fans. We all saw it unfold. She talks how she might get a tattoo of the words "be brave," which I think is fine. Like, you'll already know I'm all for tattoos. Like, get your tattoos, get whatever tattoos you want. Will there still be opinions about the tattoos that you get? Absolutely. Whether you like them or they're 10 years old, whatever, like, tattoos are just one of those things. You're always going to have somebody who has an opinion about your tattoos. But she talks about that, and then she goes into how 6 months ago she was scared to do her Miranda Sings live shows. She was having really bad panic attacks to the point where doctors had to get involved. She was nervous for her safety at live shows, and she was experiencing like her face going numb, and like I said, having to work with doctors and all of this kind of stuff. And her kids kept her going. And specifically, she mentions her oldest child, where her oldest child told her to be brave, you know, in the middle of all of this unfolding.
I don't know. I almost got a tattoo. I very, very much almost got a tattoo because of how much that means to me. Just 2 words, be brave. So, oh my gosh, this is a long story. I don't know if I want to tell right now, but I guess I'll start and see what happens. Who knows, maybe I'll cut it out. But I was doing a show, a live show. This is probably 6 months ago. And Flynn actually came with me to the show. And I have footage of this. There was a lot going on at the time and I was not doing well. And I was really scared and paranoid and nervous and was having a lot of really, really bad panic attacks. And not panic attacks like how people go like, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack, I'm freaking out. Like literal, like doctors had to get involved panic attacks where like my face would go numb and I would like almost faint and black out and couldn't, like they were really scary. So anyway, long story short, I was really nervous to do live shows. I was getting some really scary threats and I honestly was just like scared for my own safety. And anyway, I was talking to Eric at the hotel after the show and I just was like, I was so terrified to go on stage and I was so terrified. And Flynn is sitting behind me playing the drugs and he goes, Mama. And I turn around and look at my baby. I can't remember exactly what he said. I know I have footage of me talking about this somewhere for like my therapy vlogs that I did, but like he said something along the lines of like, sometimes I get scared too, Mama. And you know, I just say, be brave. And he said it again. And so he hadn't said that in like a 1.5 years or 2 years or something. And he said it to me in a time where I was not feeling very brave. And just the way he looked at me, the way he said it, I was like, this is the reason I have to keep going. You are the reason. Just his perfect little eyes. He was so sweet to want to like give me advice to help me in a time where he could tell that I wasn't feeling brave. I really wanted to get that tattooed for a while and I still might. But I don't know, who knows if I actually ever will do it, but I wanted to get it tattooed for a while, but I had it written on my arm for a while because it was really good for me to look down and see that, and every time I read it, I would think about my kids, and they, you know, truly are the thing that kept me going when I felt like I couldn't, and so that phrase, those 2 little words, means so freaking much to me, and really honestly saved me in a lot of situations, and I don't know, it's not like, sometimes you can't be brave, sometimes it's too hard to be brave, sometimes it's too hard to be happy, it's too hard to do anything. But for some reason, imagining the words be brave, but like seeing Flynn's face, man, that really motivated me to like get out of bed, to keep going, man. It means just those 2 little words. I just like will always associate it with like Flynn's cute little sweet, perfect face, like looking me in my eyes with such kindness and innocence and oh, he's just so sweet.
A lot of people are calling this her karma. And the reason that karma is even being mentioned in this situation is because of Joshua David Evans' interview when he sat down with Swoop, what he had to say about attending VidCon and trying to pick up the pieces during his divorce with Colleen, where she was working with people behind the scenes, her fans, to spread this certain narrative. She was amping people up, getting a lot of people to really hate Josh off of lies, and he had to, you know, have security, and he was scared for his own safety. And that's the reason people are mentioning karma when it comes to this. I'm going to insert that clip from Swoop's interview so that y'all have kind of context to hear what Colleen's went through over the summer versus what Joshua David Evans went through, just for comparison purposes, if this is something that y'all are following.
You had said something earlier where it sounded like, you know, when she said, don't speak about me, don't say my name, all of those types of things. Did you feel that for a period of time, that there was a level of silencing that was being done to you in regards to being able to speak about your experience in that relationship?
I absolutely felt silenced. And I felt like, I didn't know specifically then that she was orchestrating things, because what she presented online was not go after him. But what she was saying to people in DMs was, he's this, he's that, making fun of me, critiquing things, making claims about me that are not true, things that never happened. But anytime I did try to open up, the amount of hate, the passionate hate that I would get from the people online, it was just never ending. And even when I would stop talking about it or alluding to it, and I would post a normal thing about nothing regarding that, the comments would be full of it, full of go end yourself. You know, you don't deserve to exist. I know where your next show is. I ended up hosting another end of VidCon party the next year, and the amount of death threats I got before that event terrified me, because at this point, Christina Grimmie had been killed at a meet and greet. At a venue that I had performed in. She was not even like a personality type. She's just a wonderful hearted singer that has so much to give. And I had the thought of, well, if someone is innocent and to me as pure as her, it happened to her, well, there's a lot of people that don't like me. I have to take it seriously. I can't just be like, no, it's nothing. They're just being dramatic. I didn't believe that. I was scared to go on. I was scared. I had to tell my manager at the time, and they gave me security. I'd never had security before. And it was so daunting and weird to think the reason why I have security, just to go from backstage to the stairs of the stage, was because someone might try to do something. And then that catapulted into, my sister was getting those death threats. My little sister. I took it very seriously, and I got angry. I got so angry because I knew that Colleen was aware of it. And I'm like, she could say one thing and stop this.
I was going to say she could have just one statement, one tweet could go a long way to provide some security for you.
But that wouldn't serve a purpose for her. She's not willing to step out and say, don't do this to him. She liked it. Again, like that moment on the bus. How dare I make her look bad in front of her fans? It was that times a billion. This wasn't a little moment on stage. This is, hey, he might say that maybe I'm not the greatest person. Maybe I mistreat people. Maybe I'm very selfish. So let me paint him to be far worse than he could ever say about me. And I'll shut him up. It worked. I did shut up. Am I innocent? No. Did we argue? Yeah. Did I say things that I regret? Absolutely. There's also a part of like control that still exists in your own heart and in your head where you feel like, I still have to vouch for this person. Because what if we work it out? What if things get okay? I don't want to badmouth her because we can work through this. I always thought we can work through it. We made vows. That's serious stuff. There had been so many times throughout those 7 years before we were married, when we were dating, that people would sit me down and be like, what are you doing? She strings you along. She messes with your heart. She breaks your heart. And right when you heal and you're leaving, she pulls you back in. It's like you're a toy when someone else might have the ability to play with it. She didn't like that.
I don't think that anybody should have to fear for their safety. I really don't like that because I feel like it's becoming a more normal thing on social media where, you know, people are having to worry about their safety and having to worry about people showing up at their homes and, you know, all of these kinds of things. Like, I've never agreed with that. I don't think that anybody should be going to somebody's home or their business or contacting, you know, their mom or their father-in-law, their sister. Like, that kind of stuff is weirdo behavior to me, and I will never approve of somebody's real life safety being put in harm's way for the sake of internet drama or internet opinions. While I completely disagree with Colleen having to worry about her safety, I also automatically thought of, you know, Joshua and what he went through and the lack of accountability that we've seen from Colleen and the trolling and the things that have been shown that she was involved in behind the scenes. And then when I saw people calling it karma and I was kind of putting the pieces together, I really want to know how you guys feel about that. And I think that there's also space to hold where you can say, I don't agree with any of that, but I can also understand why people are calling this karma. And you can still disagree with things that I described. So she also decided to read a comment from a fan that said that this fan went to her show and felt like they were seeing a best friend.
So Kenzie said, I attended your show in Indianapolis this past June, and wow, not a day goes by that I don't think about it. It was so beautiful to see you and Eric together. Love you. With everything that was going on at the time you showed up, it made me feel like we were best friends. I can't tell you how happy I am that you're back. Well,
y'all with your parasocial connections to Colleen, I will never understand it. I think it's so bizarre. I understand that there are comfort YouTubers and all of that good stuff, but the things that y'all are willing to look past, I think is where I have a reservation, and I look at that and think that it is truly weird behavior, because you can have comfort YouTubers and you can have your favorite creators, but I think that holding them accountable for the things that they have been proven to be partaking in is equally as important as having them as your comfort YouTuber. And that is something that her fans seem to intentionally ignore time and time again. So that's the whole thing with her and the last Miranda shows and her kind of hinting at this drama, you know, or exposure. I always say it's beyond drama because it's so far outside the scope of drama. But then she pissed off the Taylor Swift fans, the Swifties. And oh my God, she put out this video and the title is Taylor Swift Copied Me. She goes on this whole tangent about friendship bracelets and all of this kind of stuff.
Make friendship bracelets or something Taylor Swifty for the fundraiser if you were planning on giving away prizes this year. I'm sure we would all love a Colleen friendship bracelet, which reminded me that Little Miss T Swifty totally copied me. She didn't. I mean, friendship bracelets have existed forever. But when I toured many years ago, I sold friendship bracelets at my shows.
Y'all sit there and get mad at drama channels for using Colleen's name in video titles, but then Colleen does something like this and y'all think that it's funny. What planet are y'all living on? That's my question. Because none of this makes any sense to anybody that has a head on their shoulders. I don't get it. So I want to read a few of these comments. One of them was saved and put on Reddit, and the other two were on her recent videos. The first one says, "I'm in shock, LOL. Get a life. Of course she's back. You people never stood a chance between Colleen and her army. Try and tear us down again. She will always ride." And I think they meant to say, "We will always ride," for our favorite YouTuber. This is such an odd comment, considering the things that came out about Colleen over the summer and the receipts and the testimonies and everything that were shared, to make it sound like people were just literally bored and wanted to cancel Colleen out of boredom and lies and conspiracies is extremely scary to me. So what this person was saying is, no matter what Colleen is exposed for, her most devoted fans will always be loud and annoying and obnoxious and come after people who are covering the things that Colleen has been exposed for, and they will basically, do anything to defend her. And I think that's super weirdo behavior, whether it's coming from younger fans, older fans. I don't know how old this person was, but I think that it really encapsulated just how crazy some of her fans are. I'm going to say this as PG as possible. I feel like this is a safe space to express my opinion, and I refuse to give the people trying to profit off Colleen's pain the views they don't deserve. Whoever thinks those horrible things people say about her are true can go take a rock and shove it where the sun don't shine. Do you realize that most of the things that were being discussed about Colleen have all been proven? Do y'all just live in like a fantasy land where, everything is a lie, even if it's backed up by a receipt, and everyone is just trying to use Colleen for clicks? I can tell you, during my entire time covering Colleen, it has come with more hassle and annoyance from her fans. But I've continued to carry on the conversation because I think that it's very important. All of the things that we've talked about, not just over the summer, everything. I've seen issues with Colleen's content, the way that she uses her children, the inappropriate things that she will say and do, the gross content that she will throw a character name on top of and get away with it, her stuff over the summer, everything. But covering her, like, I haven't been praised by her fans. I've received the exact opposite from her fans during my time covering her. And to basically try to say that people are profiting off of her pain, what about everything that she did? It's like, okay, so we're mad at people for talking about it, but we're not mad at Colleen for doing the things that people are talking about. That's like the lack of logic that I see with a lot of her fans. The last comment I want to read is just her typical fan and stan behavior. Somebody asked about her oldest child. Is that child in school? If so, what school? Y'all want to know what school a child goes to. What reason could that be for? And don't say you're just curious, because that is a very weird thing to be curious about when it comes to a literal child that you are parasocially connected to because you watch every motion that this child makes through a phone screen. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it again later. the people that are excusing Colleen are what I consider the dark corner of the internet, because the amount of things that have been proven versus the sheer ignorance that her fans are exhibiting is extremely disheartening. It's disheartening for the people whom she has mistreated along the way, and I find the whole thing to be disgusting. And the fact that she has come back and mocked and trolled and continued to use her kids and just deflect, deny, spend 3 minutes on, addressing things, even though she didn't, take any accountability. And I'm going to continue to talk about her. So that's going to be it for today. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.